Five Nights at Freddy's, a game that everyone almost always sometimes loves. It may have traumatized us as children, but that's okay, we don't really care about that. Now take Scratch, a program used for children to make wholesome games about, like bears with top hats and bow ties. Oh no. And in honor of my last video on the topic absolutely sucking, I decided to make another video of Five Nights at Freddy's on Scratch. And by the way, I'm actually going to be reviewing them instead of just playing them like gameplay, so just note that in mind for this video.
You're always a good thing. Maybe for any good, I won't have to work here.
Phone guy, why the heck are you moaning? This is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The predecessor to one of my favorite FNAF fan games of all time. In this game, he plays Wario, investigating his old franchise locations in search to find the key to some unknown mystery. This game doesn't really do anything special, it just has, that classic Scratch, 8-bit bitmap style charm to it. It's a really awesome game, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll drop a link to it in the description. And huge shout out to Spooky Rick for making this awesome game. And just kind of editing command saves. I forgot to mention that for some reason YouTube turned off comments on my videos because I guess I'm a little kid or whatever. So if you want to interact with me, you can head over to my Scratch account, which I'll also link in the description. This game also has 50 characters in it, and it also has ultimate custom night keybinds, which, man, it's just so convenient. You can close the doors with W and A, you can D and A. It's just really convenient, man, Overall, I rate this game a 9 out of 10. The only thing that could be better is the art is a little whack, and sometimes it's hard to tell what's going on. But I think that Spooky Rick, or Doorblow, or whatever, did a really good job. I think Frickbears 3, though, which is a Game Maker game, is personally a lot better, mostly because it's full color, but, this game is really still extremely impressive for being made in Scratch. So, that's just something to think about.
Smash.
A pretty far descent from Frickbears 2 is Five Nights at Cyan's. I've spent a while just on this screen that you're seeing right now, trying to figure out how to close the info menu and stuff. This game is a very interesting adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's. I actually got in the game, I learned very quick that this didn't have the most advanced mechanics in all of FNAF. The mask was extremely janky to use, the doors barely worked and there was no animation. The cameras were just broken, and there was a camera feature that I didn't really understand on the cameras. It's safe to say, it wasn't a very comprehensive game. I personally rate Five Nights at Cyan's as a very experienced Scratch FNAF player a solid 3 out of 10. I mean, at least the doors work in this game, and at least the mask kind of works. A little bit, maybe. Yeah, I mean, a little bit, yeah.
And the handsome X-Man Savers goes on to the next thing or whatever. God bless Amawika.
Oh yes, how I love myself some One Night at Blancs. This is a pretty middle-of-the-road project. It's bounds better than the Five Nights at Cyan's, but it's very interesting compared to Five Nights at Frickbears 2. It's kind of just your average Scratch FNAF fan game. There's some Mountain Dew that you drink or Monster that makes you fart to fend off the various animatronics.
I mean, it's alright,
And you have essentially infinite power, and the whole game can be beaten pretty easily, but the hours are 3 minutes long each. It's a very, very interesting game. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm also not saying it's a particularly good game, by any means. Also, look at this awesome image of Kermit the Frog I found. It's gonna be my new profile picture on everything besides YouTube, I think. Overall, One Night at Blancos or Blancos or whatever it's called, is a very interesting Scratch FNAF fan game, and I personally rated it a 7 out of 10. It's but by the way, its mini music is a banger. Just listen to this stuff. think it's time to move on to our fourth and final game. Five Nights at Mario's 2 Remastered is a game that doesn't actually feel very remastered. It kind of just takes PNGs from Smash Ultimate and kind of remakes Five Nights at Mario's 2. I did play Five Nights at Mario's 2, but the cameras were so dark I didn't really want to play it. This game is questionable compared to Five Nights at Mario's 2. By the way, these are all made by different people who I guess are a fan of the Five Nights at Mario series. I don't know who made the original Five Nights at Mario's, but I don't know. From what I can tell of Five Nights at Mario's, it's kind of like a fan game of Five Nights at Sonic's, which itself is a fan game of Five Nights at Freddy's. The lore behind these Five Nights at so-and-so fan games are freaking crazy, man. Also, in Five Nights at Mario's, there's, like, a ton of Sonic characters, and in Five Nights at Sonic's, there's, like, a lot of Mario characters. I don't know what's up with these games, like, having crossovers or whatever, but, like, I don't know, man. Personally, I would also give this game a 7 out of 10. I mean, the art is pretty bad, but all the mechanics work like they do in the original Five Nights at Mario's 2, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and Five Nights at Sonic's 2, and whatever else, Five Nights at Wario's 2, I don't know. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and again, if you want to interact with me or play any of the games in this video, check it out in the description. I will have links. And with further ado, I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.